Hi everyone, how are you doing? Good morning for those who are just waking up. I know it's the weekend, so you definitely don't have to wake up as early as on the weekdays. But how are you doing? Rise and shine, grand rising. You know, whatever greeting you say in the morning. I'm actually here. If you have been on my page for quite some time, or you've been following for quite some time, you already know what it is that I teach. You already know why we're here. But today I really want to do an introduction to Yonism classes. And the reason why I want to teach this, if you haven't already seen my series on my YouTube, which is God is Pretty Akasha on YouTube, I spoke a lot about the Black woman is God philosophy and how it's not something that is readily taught anymore, or it wasn't taught in a manner in which I am satisfied with, I should say. Basically, I think we all know our teachers, so we are familiar with Bobby Hemmett's Natural Tahuti, the Amen Ra Squad, so that contains Young Pharaoh and General Cyrus Seti. So these people like this, Brother Polite, things like that. So there's a lot of scholars in which who taught the Black woman is God, but everyone teaches it through their perspective. And I feel as though, all the scholars are men. Not to say that there's anything wrong with men who teach. Honestly, I believe that they did a great job. I love the perspective coming from each and every one of them. They each had their own different perspective. So you have General Seti, he came from the African perspective, the Pan-Africanism. And then you have Brother Polite, who's coming from an intellectual type of perspective. So he teaches the Black woman is God through its colloquial meaning. He goes a lot about that on his page and also on Sanada's channel. So basically, I like what they have done. I like what they taught. I feel like they covered a lot of the bases in why the Black woman is God, as far as biologically, and as well as socially. But I feel the one thing that is missing was cosmically, so the metaphysically. So I feel that's one thing that I want to get into, even though I did dive into that in a couple of my videos on YouTube. I do want to create a structure in which, the way in which I teach. So I'm not just getting online and just talking to you from my thoughts, just like my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that I'm producing and providing for you the sources that I'm using. So I'm able to send you links, things like that, so you can do your own research in addition to what it is that I teach you. And you can also see the validity in the things that I'm saying if I'm showing you materials. So that's basically why I want to dive deep into it. Another reason is just because I feel as though through those teachings, as far as where we are as a community, the Black community, I feel as though we have not utilized those teachings to our detriment. You know what I'm saying? So we took the teaching, so we understand chromosomes, we understand this, we understand that, we understand she birthed civilization, we understand all these things. But I feel like, what did we use with that? What did we do with that information? You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though as a community, as a nation, we didn't do anything with that information. So I feel as though, some people took it more so as an upliftment tool for our women. Others took it as a manipulative ploy to see, you know, how they can pander to certain spiritual type women so that they can, you know, get with them or whatever. So, but as far as, you know, what's happening, I'm not sure how we utilize this information to be beneficial to us now in this day and age. Okay, so that's why I feel I need to step in and kind of pick up where a lot of these scholars left off. Because again, these scholars are not available now, or they're not teaching anymore, or they're incarcerated, or they, you know, have transitioned. So there's many different reasons as to why I feel no one is teaching the Black woman is God anymore. No one's even saying it. I feel like it's just the same. So I have to come, you know, and just ignite the flame. Okay, so that's why I'm here. So my name is Goddess Akasha, and again, I'm going to teach the Black woman is God, but not the things that we already know, but basically dive deeper into what we thought we knew, or at least continuing the education. So I guess my courses, I wouldn't say they're advanced, because I can definitely break things down. And of course, if I need to, I'll go over some of the things that was taught already. If you have not come across these scholars already and you need, you know, just the quick basics as to why the Black woman is God, I can go over those things too. So let me know in the comments if you've never learned this before. Then let me know in the comments. You can write it down and just, you know, say, you know, start from scratch. Okay, and I'll create some lessons in which we can dive into the basics. But for those of us that know, I will be diving deeper into what we already know. So again, what I'll do is, like I did just this week, I'll create a flyer letting you know what this week's class will be about. So through the title, you know what it's about, whether it's the basics. If you know, you may not have to attend that class if you already know. If you know, if it's something you have not heard of before, then you would know that that's the class for you. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Okay, and I'm just keeping track of the comments. Okay, so again, I hope everyone brought their notebook and pen. Okay, so again, I want to ensure that as far as materials is concerned, you know what to bring. So come to class with a notebook and pen. If you don't, and not an old notebook, start fresh. You need a full notebook dedicated to your spiritual and metaphysical teachings. That's how you dive deeper into, you know, just self-mastery. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about today. Okay, so today I'm going to be going over the topics and subjects in which we will be studying to get a complete or well-rounded view of how we're going to elevate in consciousness through the Black woman is God philosophy. Okay, so we're going to just dive into 5 different subjects. Okay, so I know most of us, or a lot of us, are attracted to the idea of science, but just to let you know, this is based in philosophy, not necessarily in science. And the reason being is because philosophy is all about the mind. Okay, so through mental, cognitive, you know, practices, then we can kind of learn and understand through that way. Okay, so again, as far as the ways in which you learn about the divine and elevate through that, knowledge is one of those ways. So this is the way in which you're going to do that. So that's Nanya yoga. That's what I spoke about also in my YouTube video. So this is the approach that we're taking. So I'm not just going to be helping you apply or giving you knowledge, but also within these, you'll see that there's practice in it as well. So it's not just you writing and taking notes and things like that. It'll also be you putting things into practice. But again, I'll go over that in a second. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go over those 5 elements of self-mastery. And what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and write these things down. So when you're in your notebook, just like you're in school, we're going back to school now. So just like you're in school, you want to make sure that you are putting your header, or at least put the date, and put the class title at the top. The date and the class title, that's all you really need. And then you can go ahead and put your notes from there. So I'm going to write some things down, and you can go ahead and copy that. Let's see, who's here? Who's here? Celestial Clay, hi, how are you? Okay, let's see. Soulful Lotus. Hi guys. So yeah, I'm using my phone so I can see. But yes, so I'm gonna just begin. And hopefully after this, I'm able to show you maybe some of the books that I should be using. I'm wondering if this is the book that has it. No, I don't think this is the one. No, this is not the one. There's one of these books. Okay, so let's begin, shall we? Okay, so the first one is, if you can guess, I'm sure you can guess. Metaphysics. Okay, so that deals with, you know, who are we, basically the mysteries of the universe. That's basically where we're at. So here we're dealing with our existence, our mind and body correlation, our personal identity, and causation. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it with that. We're just going to be writing some notes, not too much, okay? So that's pretty much what we are dealing with. But the metaphysics course, if you were to go to college and take it, it would be a course dealing with these things. But just understand, like, you know, what topics are under this. It would be things like, you know, universal laws, the Hermetic principles. So we'll probably be going through with the Kabbalah or the Hermetica. We'll be dealing with the Emerald Tablets, things like that, okay? So we'll also be dealing with time, okay? Like time is illusory, but we'll be dealing with how time is illusory and physical and real at the same time. So what's real, what's not real, what is illusion, things like that. So this is pretty much what we'll be dealing with, okay? So the second one, okay? The second topic we'll be dealing with is ethics, okay? So ethics has to do with your moral compass. It has to do with your principles and values and how you handle situations, whether it's political situations. Most likely right now in this country, in America, we have a lot of things going on inside, you know, with the government. So there's a lot that we have to worry about, like, you know, mass shootings, Roe versus Wade, all types of things, you know, people's rights being taken away, all types of things that's happening, and we have to basically understand what is divinely ordained, okay? So not necessarily what's right or wrong, but what's divinely ordained, okay? So ethics. So I'm just abbreviating. Like I have paragraphs here, but I'm abbreviating just because, just so you won't have so much to write. But I'm explaining it, and of course, while I'm explaining, you can write down the things that I say, take more notes, you know. Okay, so the next one is gynology, okay? So if you look at this word, you may recognize the first part, G-Y-N, and if you, G-Y-N-E. So G-Y-N-E is pretty much, it means woman, okay? So think about the gynecologist, things like that. And latry, okay? Notice what I do is to understand a word without knowing its definition is to break it down etymologically, okay? So you break it down between its prefixes, suffixes, and you pretty much kind of know what it means just by looking at it, okay? So gynolatry is basically the worship of women, okay? So again, don't look at that and be like, oh my God, here comes the ego, okay? So as you take the course, you'll learn and understand how you can separate ego and still worship the woman. Especially when it comes to men, I feel like you guys have the biggest hiccup when it comes to that. So again, that's actually the first video I'm going to be like dealing with. Okay, I'm going to be dealing with our men and how you can basically live this life, still feel masculine, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm going to be dealing with first. Okay, because I know that's a big thing, and that's actually going to be my next video. I actually plan to do that. That's going to be a YouTube video, and the reason being is because I have videos that I want to show you. So with me sharing videos, I would have to put it on YouTube. So it's going to be a pre-record. I'm going to actually record that today, I believe. I should. Yeah, I think I should record that today. And then, whatchamacallit? Yeah, and then I'll upload it, and I'll, of course, notify everyone. I'll put it up on my story, post, and everything. And then you'll see, okay? And I think you'll find it very interesting. I think you'll find it very interesting. So stay tuned for that. So again, Gynology. This is also, we're also learning the art of worship, okay? So this actually contains so this is liturgical studies. Basically, what that means is you are basically learning the art of worship. You're basically learning rituals, okay, and how they play a role in our life. You're basically learning initiations, things like that. So this is the part where I say we're not just gonna study theory and work with our mind and take in knowledge. We're also going to put things into practice, okay? So that's where this comes in. So that encompasses meditation, yoga, as far as stretching is concerned, taking care of your body, because that is also taking care of the divine. So that's why I said, again, it's not as egotistical as you may think, and I would challenge you guys who think that it is to actually come and see what it is that I'm talking about when this is the topic of discussion for that particular class, okay? So come on in and you tell me from what I'm teaching you, is it something that's based in the black woman's ego, okay? So you let me know, okay? So this is basically liturgical studies. That's what it's about. And okay, worship according to its historical basis. Okay, so we'll be exploring rituals. Oops. Okay, so again, I'm going to the next one. I don't want to be bending. So the fourth topic that we're going to be discussing is exegetical theology, okay? Okay, so what this is basically, excuse me, hey, no fighting. Sorry, my cats are fighting, y'all. So, exegetical theology. So, if you understand theology in a college course, theology is the study of the nature of God and religious beliefs. So we'll be diving into different cultures and how they handle the black woman being God or the goddess worship. Okay, so we'll be handling that. But exegetical is also understanding, or it's the art of interpretation. Okay, so with exegetical theology, we'll be basically studying scripture, okay? Studying scripture and different sacred or metaphysical studies. So this is when we'll be dealing with different books, whether it's scriptural books or non-scriptural books, okay? So that's where this is, okay? So that's basically what we'll be discussing here. This is our Bible study book club. Okay, and before I go to the fifth one, I just want to just go over some of the things we might need. I don't know if you guys know, but we will be, because when it comes to the black woman being God, it's like, well, what is our sacred book? Now, when it comes to that, I'm actually putting together a book that would contain all of our scriptures. Okay, now that's something that I do not have readily available. What I'm doing is, it's going to take time for me to do that. Honestly, to write any book takes time, but to write a Bible that's basically a lifetime project. I'm just going to keep it honest with you. It's a lifetime project. Like, that's not something that you can just do in like 3 months and just kick it out. I don't know how people are just kicking out books after a situation, then they write about a situation and it's like a month later. I don't see how they do that. That doesn't even make sense. Especially if you are pouring so much into it, if you are paying attention to detail. That's why sometimes books come out and there's so many grammatical errors, it turns the reader off. You know what I'm saying? So being that we do not have an official Bible, I'm actually putting that together for us, okay? So, and the methods in which I'm using is by deep study. This is how I'm doing it, deep study. So a lot of the things that we go over here will most likely be in that book. It just won't be a hard copy that you can just buy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things that we read here, as far as the biblical portion, is I may read scriptures that I find on the goddess, and also I'm also using my genetic memory to add to whatever I cannot find. Okay, so that's the methods in which I'm using to write that book. And, you know, but as far as right now, we'll be using the King James Version Bible. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have, well, honestly, I feel like everybody should have a Bible. Everybody should have a Bible. Okay, this is mine. This is the Bible that I have. And this is a King James version. If you have a Bible, type in the comments which which version you have. I want to make sure that we're all reading the same thing. And if you don't have a Bible, then of course you would just use your phone. I'm sure there's plenty of Bible apps. There's plenty of Bible apps. You can use Google, whatever, and you'll find it. But we're using this Bible for comparative studies. So we're going to be coming into here, possibly fixing it or finding the correct versions and comparing it to what's here, because this later version, 1611 edition, is not the most accurate. And there's so many things that's wrong with it and so many things that's great about it. And we can kind of trace back to the time in which the great things were actually written and put in here. And also we can look at how it was altered for different people's agendas. Okay, so we're going to be going into that. I'm sure a lot of us, if you have already started your awakening journey, you've already started with this, dismantling this like right away. So this is probably the first thing you do. But yes, notice with mine, I have what you call the subject tabs. That, honestly, when I was in church, one of the things that I found so frustrating is when the pastor or preacher would go to a particular scripture and then read it, and then I would still be looking for the chapter and verse, and by the time he's done, he's moving on, and I never found the first one, and I'm struggling flipping through, not finding things fast enough. So if you put the subject tabs, you can go to any office store, Staples, Office Depot, whatever. They probably have it in dollar stores too, I'm not sure. If not, go to Amazon and get them, look for Bible tabs. And these, I actually bought these. So I didn't write these down. So I bought these, but you can do it manually if you like. That way you can help with the study portion. So I ended up doing this when I went to Hebrew Israelite school. Okay, so there's certain methods that I like, and to read the Bible in a more educational manner rather than an inspirational manner is what I like best. Okay, so that's why I have the tabs here. Okay, so again, with not just the tabs, I also have the Apocrypha. Okay, so the Apocrypha has, Apocrypha in itself just means, I think, I'm trying to remember, but I think it means hidden or lost books, basically. So these are some of the books that's been taken out. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So there's a couple of things that I have come across and started studying, like the Book of Enoch, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Thomas, things like that. So these are things that I have already started studying a little bit, but I do not have a physical copy of those. So those I may get physical copies of those and add that to our studies or whatever. Okay, so get these things if you don't already have them. Again, if not, you don't even have to spend any money, and you can just use your phone for everything. You can use Google for everything. If you have a second device, you can do that. It's fine. You know, I'm not trying to make it so that this becomes another expense. We're already spending a bunch of money on everything. So again, I want to make sure that knowledge is free. So if you can't, you know, I'll do my best to provide certain things. I will send links. Again, I will also host a group chat. So, New King James. So yeah. So I will also host a group chat So if you want to be in the group chat, let me know you want to be in the group chat, and those people, you'll get notifications. I'll also be able to send you links of things that I talk about in class. I'll also be able to maybe even send you PDF versions of certain books. I basically do that through Dropbox. I have Dropbox, but if you don't have that, we can kind of work on what would work best for you, especially when it comes to people in other countries. They may not have the same type of applications that we have. So again, if you want PDF copies of certain books, I can see if I can provide those depending on what it is that we're utilizing for our studies. But yeah, we should have a Bible, Apocrypha, some of the lost books. I have also over here the Emerald Tablets. So this is the Knowledge of Thoth, Atlantean. Okay, this is a book that I got from Amazon. And again, if I do a class, and once I put this live class on YouTube, because I will be putting my live classes on YouTube, you can always go in the description, and I will most likely put the Amazon link there as well if you're not a part of the group chat for this page. Okay, so this, I can't remember how much it was, but I'm sure it wasn't that much. It's not that big of a book. I read this like twice already before I even bought it, and I bought it just to have. So I bought it just to have. A couple of things that I have here as far as studying is concerned. I have the Way of the Orisha. Just different things. I have African folk tales, the power of mantra initiation, just different things that I have here. And I'm going to just, you know, based on whatever topic we're talking about, I'll bring out a different book, and you can determine if you want to purchase it yourself to have or not so much. So this is something that I can't wait to get into. This is the science of the sacred secretion. So this is something I can't wait to get into. This is a lot of our metaphysical studies. We're getting into that. Let's see. And then, so there's certain books that I'll have for our studies, and then certain books I'll just have for our book club. Okay, so our book club series will just be books that I've never read before, so we'll be discovering them together. Okay, so we'll just have random books like, I don't know, things like this, The Alchemist, things that people suggest to you but don't give you a preview of what the book is about, what's in it, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes what's on these little tabs don't give you enough. Sometimes you need somebody to read a chapter to you, and you be like, oh, okay, yeah, I want that book. Like, because you're waiting for it to speak to you and give you something that you're seeking. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know, you shouldn't have to buy anything. Me personally, I like to collect books. So this isn't my entire collection right here. So I do have books everywhere. I'm still building a bookshelf. But, you know, whatever I can come across or I have and I'm able to share, I will read it. And you may not have to, you know, as far as book club is concerned, I'll read the whole book. And you can, it'll be like an audiobook for you. I have the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. If you've heard of her, you should know who she is. If you don't know, we'll go over her as well. Let's see, what other things do I have? Yeah, so I have, as far as sacred books or scriptural things, so I have the Bhagavad Gita. This is when we go into the Hindu pantheon. So yes, this is something that's written in Sanskrit originally and was translated into other languages. So, and this is supposed to be the best translation. That's why it says as it is at the bottom. So this is one of them as well. And one of my new editions, I just found this book. This is called The Cult of the Goddess. Okay, so this actually dives into right here. This actually dives into how people worshipped in history. Okay, so what their thoughts was, their psychology behind it. You know, so this is what this book is about. It's a huge textbook, and honestly, this book was $300, but I got it on sale for $100. Now, things like this is where I like to work from books like this that are super expensive, because a lot of us may not have extra funds to just put on books. Not many of us, you know, especially if you've never read it before and you're investing in something you've never read before. You know what I'm saying? So I have a love for books. I always have. So I have no problem with investing in these types of things, especially as a teacher and educator. I like having materials, okay? And expanding my knowledge in that particular kind of way. To me, is the same as ordering Uber Eats all the time. Okay, so this is a book. I have not gone over it yet. I just got it. Just got it. So this is my new baby. So we'll be seeing what that book has to offer us. And I also have a couple of books on PDF versions. And those are the ones I will be able to share with you. Some things I can't find in PDF, some things I can. So we'll see how that goes, okay? Hi guys. Okay, so the last one before we oh, where's my chalk? Okay. Okay, so the last subject that we're dealing with here is let me move my chair. So environmental psychology, okay? So environmental psychology, if you can't really understand what that is, that's basically us discovering the connection between our environment to our bodies and environment to our mind, and how nature affects our health. Okay, so we'll be dealing with, you know, things like why we feel better, or why, you know, trees reduce stress or reduce high blood pressure, things like that. So that's pretty much what we'll be learning here. So also we'll be dealing with nutrition and how to heal ourselves from different ailments and diseases, and why certain things work. So we'll be dealing with herbs, food, different food, fruits, vegetables. We'll be dealing with the earth. We'll be dealing with astrology, so not just on the earth, but also the cosmos. So as far as certain planets and stars and their placements, why astrology is accurate. Also astrocartography. Okay, astrocartography is basically astrology in a geological on a geological map. So we get to discover our energies and how they affect us in accordance to our astrology, how certain places affect us. Okay, so that's something that I can't wait to do, and I'll be able to do readings for you guys and help you through that. Okay, so here we have the study of our environment and how it affects us. Okay, so here we have things like, I'm just going to put it here. Oh, and sematics, I didn't mention that. Sematics is the study of sound and how we are affected by different frequencies. Okay, so these are pretty much the things. Also, Okay, so this is some of the things we'll be dealing with when it comes to environmental psychology, okay? So how nature affects us, our physical bodies and minds, okay? So these are our subjects. Let me know if you have any particular questions. And I feel like this particular, these particular elements are, I think it covers everything. Because within these you have smaller topics that we can kind of come into and understand. Okay, so just let me know if you guys have any particular questions. Homework. As far as homework, I thought about homework. I don't want to take this school thing too far, but again, I know that we are full adults. We have full lives. A lot of us have children and responsibilities. Homework, no. As far as homework is concerned, the only homework would be in this realm, which is practice. So outside of class, then you should most likely be practicing your chants, meditations, mantras. You should be practicing whatever it is that we're discussing, whether it's breath work, whether it's yoga. Certain practices you should do daily. So that's pretty much your homework. But honestly, no, I'm not trying to make it too strenuous of a thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you, again, when it comes to the books and things, like if we're discussing a particular text during class and you desire the PDF and you want to take it to read it on your own, then that's something you would do on your own in your free time. But there's not going to be any homework. Will there be quizzes? Yes, I'll do quizzes. Quizzes, not like huge tests, but quizzes is something that I feel is necessary to ensure that you are retaining the information, if you understand it, and also just open discussions, because when it comes to certain things, like ethics, we'll be talking about, you know, contemporary issues, like a lot of things that's going on in the world, politics, and we'll just have open discussions, and based off of the doctrine in which we're learning, you can kind of, you know, I want feedback on how you would handle a situation, what you would do if we were to build our society right now, because that's pretty much what I'm prepping us for, to build our own society, to become a tribal nation and become more self-sufficient. So these are just the basic things that we need. But you know, especially when it comes to ethics, is really, 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 really important. So we'll have open discussions and quizzes and things like that to ensure that when we want to branch off and be more self-sufficient and, you know, gain our power back, we know how to run a smooth, flowing, and harmonious society on our own. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be able to do better, especially using examples from our past. So that's why we're learning. So we'll be learning things here through a historical basis, what we did, how we handle certain things, and how we can handle them and apply certain strategies now, because honestly, nothing is new. Nothing is new. Everything is repeating. It's a cycle, okay? Again, as far as a cycle, we'll be learning how everything is a cycle from our metaphysics studies, okay? So that's pretty much it as far as, so homework is pretty much just practice, daily practices, okay? Daily practices, that's our homework. But there will be quizzes though. There'll be quizzes. So we'll see how we do. And then with that quiz, I feel like it'll also help you understand where you are, what you're retaining, what you're not retaining, what you need to work on. You know, what you missed, what you didn't miss, you know? So I think it's helpful. But yeah, thanks for your question, Dominique Mayat. Yes, we'll be dealing with Mayat law. Mayat law, yes. I feel like I'm not in frame. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Also, when it comes to language. So this is the first page that I feel you should have in your notebook, okay? In your notebook, this should be the first page that you have in your notebook. It should outline what you'll be studying, okay? So that's pretty much here. The next page, which what I'll do is I want to be able to erase this and get the yes, absolutely. Initiations are here. Everything that has to do with practice, worship, spiritual practices is what we'll be learning here. That's what this is. That's the number 3. Okay. Again, write all this down and put it in your book so that you remember. And yeah, so what I'll do is I will, do I have the book here? Okay, I think I have the book of initiations. I have one book of initiation over there in meditation, but I also have another one on PDF. But what I'll do is to have a complete understanding of different things that you can do. Because again, when it comes to ritual, there's most definitely a blueprint, but to make it your own, you can kind of tweak things to make it personable to you. And that's why what I'll do in order to teach that, I will be taking from different places. Taking from different places to understand what we used to do and how we can incorporate it in our lives now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, sorry for the noise. I'm all the way in noisy New York, okay? And I know you hear it because the window's open. But that's pretty much what we'll be discussing and why I'm taking from different books. Again, that's why I have the Way of the Orisha over there. I have different ones. I will not be teaching Ifa in a sense where I'm initiating you into that spiritual system. I'm not qualified for that. I am not an ordained priestess under that school of that spiritual practice, that particular one. Ifa, Yoruba, Santeria, whichever name you have it under, depending on the like where it comes from. Like we already know it comes from West Africa, but where you learned it from, which branch you learned it from. If you could have gotten it from the Caribbean, Haiti, New Orleans, or Brazil, you know, things like that. So I am not completely under that particular thing. Have I practiced Santeria before? I have. So I have experience in Santeria, but I am not an ordained priestess. Okay, so I want to make that clear, and that's why as far as here, you will not be going through that particular initiation. Now, if you want that, I may be able to direct you to who is an ordained priestess. Okay, if that's something that you're interested in, I can direct you in that way. Okay, but that's not something that I do, and I also do not do spell work for people. I do not charge people to do spell work for them. Okay, just to clarify what it is that I do and what I offer. So pretty much what I offer, I am not money based, so that's why I'm on Instagram for free. And honestly, I just want my platform to grow, and I just want I want people to be able to obtain this knowledge and it be readily available for them, like for a wider audience, because I feel like this information can help us grow. So I really want to help our people and help their minds elevate their consciousness. That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm an educator, so I'm not like technically a witch or anything of that nature, just so you can kind of understand. If you need that, I'm not going to be doing tarot readings. I feel like the community of tarot readers is honestly, people are gonna get mad at me if I say this, but I feel like a lot of tarot readers are scammers. I feel like a lot of them are not equipped to be reading for anybody, and honestly, you shouldn't even be doing any readings online. That's just my opinion about the practice itself. I feel like as far as doing an energy reading, you need to be in the room with that person to read their energy and, you know, get from them what you need from them. There is, if you need a particular energy reader, a tarot reader, if you need someone who's truly connected with source, I can direct you to who I feel is authentic. But I do not feel everyone should be able to do it, and I do not feel they should be charging you for it. If they're going to do free readings, then it should be free readings and not have a cash up there. And they should not be doing, oh, $5.55, skip the line, $7.77, skip the line. Like, I think that's silly. But again, whatever, we're in a capitalistic system, and we all have to survive. So utilize what you know. I get it. I understand, and I'm not knocking nobody. It's just not something I would do. Okay, so if I can, I will try, like I said, to provide you with as much information that I can. If I am in need of any particular assistance, then I will just ask. I'll ask if I need any particular donations for a particular situation. If I'm in a situation, then I'll ask for donations, but that's it, like a GoFundMe or something, but that's it. It's not going to be an everyday thing, okay? And once my platform gets to a particular height, and I'm able to monetize from Instagram, I'll do it that way. But I'm not going to take from you guys. I really want to give, you know what I'm saying? And what I want in return for me giving my energy to you is you giving your energy back. Okay, do we understand that? Hopefully we get it, okay? So I just really want to have people here. Come to class. Take it serious, you know what I'm saying? You know, attend lives, comment on my videos, like and comment on my YouTube videos, help me grow my YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Participate. That's pretty much all I ask for, honestly. If I'm giving out my energy, I just want energy back. Energy exchange, that's it. That's the universe's currency, is energy. Honestly, that's what it is. So we utilize money as a tool, but within the practice of coming into a new, we have to not be dependent on the system in which we were taught. Okay, so that is the capitalistic system of the almighty dollar. Okay. Okay, so if that was to disappear, or for any particular reason the dollar was to become less valuable, because honestly money is valuable because we place value on it. Whatever we place value on, it becomes value. So we actually have the power to make something valuable. Okay, but before that we had a gift economy. We did what you call it, barter. We had a barter system, so we exchanged services, we exchanged goods. Okay, so it was our energy that we exchanged. It wasn't necessarily, we didn't really need a tool in the middle, if that makes sense. So that tool is really technically a promissory note. And before it was a dollar with these dead presidents on it, it was a promissory note. It was a note, a physical note. Okay, so again, and that was before they started, you know, coins and things like that. I guess before the Iron Age and things like that, or was it after? I forget. But again, when it comes to the whole situation, I'm most likely not going to sell you a service. Okay? So just give me your energy. I give you, you give me. Simple. I think so. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. And you know, hopefully you guys have this written down. That's why I left it up. So write these things down, especially those who came into the live late. So go ahead. It's not much. I just put particular notes there. But yeah, write this down. And again, we'll move on. And one thing I wanted to discuss as well is language. I didn't write that down. Did I write that down? No, I didn't. I didn't. Okay, so within this area, exegetical theology, we will be analyzing language only because when you are critically analyzing something and trying to gain its meaning, interpreting something, in order to study any particular scripture or Bible or whatever, you have to dive into its original written language, not its translation. So we will be learning language. Okay, so will I dive into Hebrew? No. Aramaic? No. But when it comes to certain words, we may have to divert to the Strong's Concordance. Okay. But most likely, as far as practice is concerned, we will be diving into Sanskrit. And the reason being is because Sanskrit has a lot to do with our mantras and chants and things like that. So I want to make sure that the language in which we are utilizing for our meditation is not the bastardized or low vibrational English, which does not activate our vocal cords in a way in which it should. So what it does is our voice, we understand our voice is an instrument, our voice box is an instrument, right? So when you are activating your voice, what it does is it creates a particular frequency in your body. So everything is vibrating in your body, and you want it to vibrate on a higher frequency. So you want to activate utilizing different pronunciations and sounds, things that we're not used to. So what it does, it activates certain parts in our brain that we don't normally use. So we'll be exploring outside of English, okay? So yes, and Sanskrit, simply because a lot of the goddess text is originally written in Sanskrit. So we will learn a little bit of it, but I'm not going to make you learn the whole language. We're not trying to learn it fluently, because as far as, even if you were to go to India right now, they speak Punjabi. It's not, you know, it's not Sanskrit. Sanskrit is more of a Vedic text. So that's something that is historical, divine. Classical Vedic language itself is written in their holy and divine sacred text, and it's not something that's modernly spoken. Okay? So that's why I'm not teaching it in that manner, but I'm teaching it in the manner in which to study scripture. Okay? Just to understand certain words, because certain words don't have an English translation. That's how old it is. And English, again, is a very new language. Okay, so, and again, Sanskrit is like the second oldest language. The first is Tamil. Tamil originating from the Dravidians, okay, which is an ancient, dark-complected, feminine race. So again, I'm going to dive into that. Did I break down a class for that? I think I did. But I'm going to dive into the Dravidians in another class. But Tamil is their language, and after Tamil was Sanskrit, which takes parts, or, you know, different grammatical parts and things like that from Tamil. Okay, so again, Sanskrit comes before Hebrew. It just does. And it comes before Aramaic and Arabic and all the other stuff. So when it comes to understanding and learning our ancient practices and ways and things like that, Sanskrit, I feel, is the best language we can learn. But I feel like when it comes to us in the Black community and the conscious community, we tend to not go that deep in our studies, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't go that deep, especially if we think something is of another culture. But if you really understood from the goddess, you know, the goddess perspective, every culture is our culture, because she birthed everyone, and every culture is an expression or a piece of her expression. Okay? So again, the next thing, I believe, that's the next thing I'll do, is I'll go over the pronunciations of things, and I'll teach you a chant. I want to make sure that to begin each class, we do a chant, okay? It gives people time to come in, and also we are practicing and raising our frequency before we, you know, begin learning, okay? So that's all for today. Very, very quick. I usually do classes that are like 3 hours or so, but today is a quick class. So thanks so much, you guys, for coming. And again, this is just an overview of what we'll be learning, what we're diving into, and why, who I am, why I'm teaching this. You know what I'm saying? Get a background of everything. And I can't wait to begin. So yes, the first thing I'll be dealing with is how our men, you know, relate to the Black goddess perspective. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm dealing with our men, our lovely men. We love y'all. So the first thing we'll be dealing with. Okay, so again, thanks so much for coming. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And you can write it in the comments if you want. And also, if you want to be in the group, because I'm going to make the group chat right now. So what you can do is write in the comments right now if you want to be in the group chat. Okay? Thanks so much. Zion, the heart of gold. Dominique, my aunt. Thanks so much, guys, for coming to class. Very, very simple. I don't want to take too much of your time. That's why I want to make certain things short. But I just want to make sure that you're devoting at least one day a week, a few hours out of the week, to, you know, to higher learning, you know, and not just something that's going to get you a career or make money from, but something that is going to elevate your consciousness, something that's for your spirit, for your soul. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need. This is what we need. We need to activate certain neural pathways and just elevate. That's important. That's important. So this is what I offer. Okay, guys, I'll put you in the group chat. Thanks so much for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And again, I will be doing a weekly class. So every Saturday at this time is when I'll be doing a live class, okay? And again, throughout the week, I'll upload the live class, and I'll also have some YouTube videos as well. So again, I think that's everything. Is that everything? Everything I think I did. Okay. Group chat, Dropbox, yes. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I got everything. Okay, thanks so much. I'll see and talk to you guys soon.